Not made for kids. Always put not made for kids.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh, look. The guy who started this stream. Yeah, he's the first one to show up. Hey, Eric.
Is Eric on here now?
No, he's not on Discord. He's on.
Oh, he's on YouTube.
Exactly.
What's up, Eric?
Oh, I'm loving that. Loving the light you've got in the engine.
Thank you.
I've seen that somewhere.
I don't know.
I think I saw it in my Batmobile. What'd you say?
I didn't do the 5 bulbs though. I did one 3mm yellow bulb and one 1.8mm red flickering bulb. And just mounted the red bulb directly behind the yellow bulb.
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so that it's basically shining through the yellow bulb.
Yeah, well, my 66 Batmobile, I did a 3mm behind a 3mm.
Yeah, see, it's just focus.
Oh, I see. You've actually got it back behind the engine.
Yeah.
On mine, the tips of the LEDs actually stick out where that I drilled through. So Eric is playing World of Warships.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Well, on this kit, that chrome piece with the holes in it glues straight to the back of the car, and then the nozzle sits over it.
Yeah. Same on mine.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the bulb itself.
Yeah, the bulb.
I built a little.
Yeah,
box.
see, I don't do a whole lot of light boxes. I should.
All that is cardboard.
Yeah. Well, I'm still working on this thing.
I'm gonna have to trim this end down low because it won't fit together.
And I just realized I was masking this thing off because the raised parts I'm going to paint black. Well, while I was putting the tape on, I scratched the paint that was there, and I decided to hand paint this instead because it's just too much trouble to mask. So now I got to put another coat of paint on it before I can do the black paint.
Is that the bottom of the Saturn?
Yes, it fits into here.
Oh, okay.
And while it's not, I'm not going completely Canon on it because only the nozzle areas are supposed to be black, and then the actual nozzles themselves will be silver. These 2 tabs on each side of it, I'm going to paint them black as well.
Just to add a little something to it.
Yeah. And it's funny because for a little weekend kit, this thing is the whole thing is a lot of work. So I think I've been working on this thing for a month.
Really?
Yep. You got to remember there's 5 total rockets in here, and I finally finished the 1B last week.
Oh, so this is the Saturn V.
Yes. This is the big one. I was doing some sanding on this one today after painting it, or no, didn't paint it yet. I was sanding the seams down to make them smooth, and I was pushing on this side, and I was like, that's not glued together at all.
I've had that happen.
Yeah.
Did you see the video of the latest test of SpaceX Starship?
I did not.
It blew up
Oh,
in the air.
that's actually, I think I may have seen something about that, but that's not the first time that's happened to Starship.
All the ones I saw before, it blew up when it was landing.
Yeah.
You know, came down to the pad, hit the pad, kaboom. Now this one was still like a kilometer up, and as soon as it fired up the engines to begin the maneuver to right itself and start coming down,
Yeah.
it boom.
Well, then he's on course with what they did in the 60s,
Yeah,
because I'm reading the right stuff. One of the problems that they're talking about, they talked about, and he reiterates it several times. Our rockets always blow up.
it happens.
Yeah. It's amazing with what NASA did in that era that we didn't kill more people.
I know, right?
I mean, the fact that we only killed 3 people on the ground in the Apollo era.
Yeah, and they hadn't even launched yet. They were just doing a test.
Right. Well, and that's when they redesigned the capsule and decided that pure oxygen on the ground is not a smart move. I love this seam here. I don't know if you can see it. That seam there, have to do very little work on it. Just kind of smooth it out a little bit, because this is the part that actually splits apart in 2 pieces. And
Well,
Sure.
so it's supposed to have a seam.
yes, inside there is where the lem is, and unfortunately, I don't know where the rest of this lem is. I've got the landing stage, and I have half a capsule. Unfortunately, this one came out better than the one that's on the 1B. But the one that's on the 1B is going to probably move over to this ship. So I'll be,
Oh, really?
yeah, because I have a full one in there, and haven't glued the 1B together, probably won't, but the 2 Mercuries and the Gemini, since the only things that, well, the Gemini actually splits into 2 stages and the capsule, but I'm probably going to glue the capsule on because the 2 stages stick really well. The Mercuries, I'm going to glue the capsules on top of the rockets. And then I'm still not sure one way or the other with the 2 Saturns, whether I'm gluing them completely or not.
Come on, Buck. Admit it. When nobody's looking, you're in there going,
I'm going.
what I thought was funny watching that Starship launch, though, was the video just at the moment where it exploded. You know how when Droid Cam loses the connection, the video just freezes?
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what it did. The rockets, the second they fired, it just froze. And then you hear silence for a few minutes. And then the guy comes on and goes, yeah, Starship is not going to be returning. We've had a malfunction.
A major malfunction.
No, he just said malfunction.
And Elon Musk is like in the background doing the Bill Gates thing of, might want to rethink this one.
What is wrong with you people? Can't you do anything right?
Well, you've heard about that video, haven't you? When Bill Gates was releasing Windows ME.
Is that the one where it crashed during the live demo?
Yes, he unveils it, and as soon as he unveils it, it's BSOD, blue screen of death.
Whoops.
Yeah, might want to rethink this one. So I'm going to make noise here for a second because I'm shaking up a rattle can so I can repaint the bottom of that. If Kenny's on, or if he sees this, he's going to hate the paint I just used.
Rust-Oleum 2X.
Rust-Oleum at all.
Oh, he hates all Rust-Oleum?
Yeah, he never has Rust-Oleum work for him. It does what that same kind of Rust-Oleum, except for it was gloss, did on my Enterprise refit. When I painted it the first time, when I got done, everything dried, and I brought it inside, and just a spot about that big on the saucer rippled.
Really?
Yeah, it just bubbled up. The primer and the paint didn't agree with each other, and so what I did was I took it, cleaned it off as best I could, sanded it down, and I had a big spot where you could see the plastic, then the primer, then the white, and instead of going back and cleaning everything off, I just hit that spot with primer. I hit it with white, exact same paint, and it worked like a champ.
Well, to be honest, when I use that paint, it says on the bottle it adheres very well to plastic.
Yeah.
So I just don't prime.
Well, I think what my problem was, and if you saw that white was actually a white with primer. Most of the Rust-Oleum paints now come with primer built in. But that white...
I just don't prime when I use those.
Yeah. Well, the problem I had with that one is that I think I didn't wash the model, and there was mold release on that one specific section. And Eric just said he's never had issues with Rust-Oleum, but there was mold release on that one section, and so that's where it bubbled up.
That's very possible. I've never had any problem with the Rust-Oleum either. The 1/1000 scale refit that I did and the 537 Reliant, those are both Rust-Oleum.
Cool. By the way, hello, Spence.
Do what?
I've used Rust-Oleum too, without any problems. I used on the base for my Catwoman. I used regular black primer and then just the regular black Rust-Oleum. I think it might have been Rust-Oleum paint and primer on top of it, and that came out beautifully.
Yeah.
I used the gray primer on one of the little round tube bases, and then put straight Rust-Oleum black on top of that. Never had a problem. So
I think what it might be is Kenny had an issue with it one time a while back, like long ago. Because all of us, the first time we do something with a specific paint and it just goes Tango uniform, you never touch that paint again.
I usually give it a couple tries because most of the time when I use a paint, it's because I saw somebody else use it or because they recommended it. So when it fucks up, I'm thinking, what did I do wrong?
Well, let me show you some paint that works out usually pretty good, but I've had some interesting experiences in the past couple of days with it. Good old Walmart, 97 cents.
I've never used that on a model.
I use that for light blocking.
I've used that
For light blocking.
I've used that as just regular paint and usually have no problem with it. But like I said, past couple of days I've had some interesting experiences with it. I had one can that I was spraying. I'm sitting here spraying, and about a half can left. Shake it up every now and then, spray it, and it just stopped. It just stopped spraying. It was
Wow.
it was like it was a, it was a airbrush, and I just turned off the power. And then I had another one yesterday on these parts, as a matter of fact. Not this one. This one was still being glued, but it all of a sudden, instead of spraying straight, started spraying up. So both of those, it was probably dried paint inside the can, just blocked the nozzle.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And once that happens, just throw the thing away because it's no good.
A can of Duplicolor, which is one of my favorite primers, and it just sprayed propellant. It was just propellant.
Wow.
I don't think there was any paint in the can.
A little oops on the assembly line.
Yeah, well, fortunately, I was able to take it back and get a refund, so I was happy about that.
Yeah.
I did not get a terrible amount done this week, but I did respray the off-white just to even it out a little bit on the Slave 1. So
Nice.
I think I'm ready to start layering paint. I already showed over on the Discord. I resprayed or repainted the high rollers. These look a lot better. I mean, they
a
look.
lot better.
I mean, they looked okay. It's just I was painting a gray, and I just forgot that that's not the greatest thing to do. I mean, for like a realistic mini or something, I'd be happy with that. But these are supposed to be like dice, so I wanted
Yeah,
them
if
to
you're
be a
wanting
bit
real
more.
bright colors, prime with white.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that, but I'd forgotten about it. I just started painting. So I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Probably just gonna start detailing the cockpit on the Slave 1. Let's go with that. Probably not going to be on very long today, but
That's why. Okay. I'm sitting here looking at pieces and looking at paint, where things are supposed to be painted. And I'll tell you what, you would think just having white and black would be easy, except for these grooves.
Yeah.
yeah.
Although after my little experiment last week on the 1B, where I taped it, then I painted it, and then I painted the other color, that worked really well. I was actually very pleased with the way that worked out.
Well, now you know how to do it.
Exactly. This is actually really cool the way they broke these pieces up.
I painted this with scale 75 flat black,
Hmm.
and I sprayed the body with Vallejo matte varnish. And the scale 75 by itself is actually flatter than the matte varnish.
Oh yes, I saw it on your video. That was kind of funny.
That's wild.
Yeah. So how did you thin the scale 75?
Airbrush flow improver.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of what I suspected.
That's what I use for all my acrylic paints.
Yeah.
Airbrush flow improver.
Yeah.
Because it slows the drying time just enough and it breaks the surface tension so that the paint has time to just level out and then it dries.
Yep. For these army painters, what I did is I just took flow improver and just a little bit of airbrush thinner, and they sprayed just fine. So
I love the way they did this. Because if you look,
What's that?
you're supposed to have the black stripe. Well, this is actually this part here, the bottom of the stripe. But here and here works out really perfect because this ring is all black. This one's the
Oh,
one.
nice.
This one's the one that I have to tape off. What's really funny is that, you know, this is the bottom of the second stage, and I was thinking it would be silver or black or something. Nope. Just like the bottom of this. Nope, not that. It's over there. The bottom of the first stage, it's all white.
So they painted everything.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny if you research at all these color schemes that they did on the rockets when they did them in the 60s. A lot of the color schemes, you know, we were talking earlier about how rockets blow up. The reason they have the color schemes on these rockets and what they have is so that the rocket doesn't blow up.
Doesn't get too hot.
Yep. The sun shining on it, it heats it up, and then it, you know, the liquids inside of there are no longer, or the, not even liquid. Yeah, well, like LOX. The liquid oxygen inside of there goes from liquid to gas and then expands and blows up the tank.
I can see where that would be a bad thing.
Yeah, yeah. See if I can get this. That's better. Is it bad on something that's supposed to be in scale 300 feet tall? I'm worried if it has a really small gap between the pieces.
I mean, as long as it's a tiny gap, I wouldn't worry about it. Because those pieces are supposed to come apart anyway when the rocket launches, right?
Yep. I was about to mask this off, but I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other ones. I'm going to hand paint it. So this one can be hand painted.
Didn't you mask it and then hand paint it up to the mask on the other one?
I could do that, but here's the problem. Unless I do what I did did last week, where I painted it, or I taped it and then painted it with the base coat. I've noticed that if you put paint or if you put tape on something and you get the paint up to the tape, it'll tend
It
to
goes under.
yeah, it'll wick underneath and make a mess.
Yeah, that's what I was saying last week. I've never had success brush painting up to the edge of a mask. Eric said he does it, but
Eric doesn't do anything. Eric's playing a video game. Eric started this live stream on Sunday thing one time. For some reason, doesn't show up anymore.
I know, right? Okay, where did I put my knife? There it is.
That's not a knife.
It's a woody knife. This is a knife.
Yes. By the way, Donnie, you'll be
Yes, sir.
happy. You may have seen some pictures here recently on Discord or on HLI. Something's slowly making its way back to the bench.
Jeez.
I'm still contemplating if I'm going to try and put an LED in there like you did.
See, somebody started impromptu group build on Discord of the Voyager, and I think only one Voyager got finished.
Well, and that guy who started that impromptu build is playing video games today.
Yes.
He starts things and then he leaves them for others to finish.
I guess if it works, you know.
Yeah. Oh, let me see. Apparently that camera is not working right now.
Like you in the way.
Really? This is interesting. Right now, the only camera that I have that's working is DroidCam.
Really?
Yeah.
Go Droid Cam.
Well, probably because it's running from Discord to OBS to the net.
You would think the other cameras would be working though.
I think they were. Well, they were until I popped out the window.
Are they working in OBS itself? Oh wait. How have you got it set up? Have you got OBS feeding Discord?
No, I have Discord feeding OBS.
Okay, you have to change cameras in Discord then.
Yeah, that's what I was trying.
Oh, okay.
The Discord window where it's popped out, I switched cameras in there.
Hello?
And let me see. Yeah,
I think the problem is OBS grabbed the cameras first.
that could be. Although when I did that, when I switched it, it did. Yeah, there. Interesting.
I bet OBS grabbed the cameras first, and now Discord can't use them.
Well, and what's interesting is the little blue light on the camera is on, as if it's doing something.
Right, because OBS. I mean, does the light only come on when you switch to it?
Yes, that's what it's supposed to be.
But maybe OBS is already like claimed to that camera. You know what I'm saying?
Could be.
Why is the one color I really want the most belligerent to mix?
Because it loves you.
Is it one of the army painters?
No, it's Model Air.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of paint was stuck to the bottom for some reason. Took forever to get it mixed.
That's why I put
It was,
my paints upside down.
There's this stuff here. Model Air, light green, Arlen 82. Helbrun, whatever you call it.
Oh,
Suspense, is that a wet
have a
pad there you
what?
got?
Okay, one at a time, please.
No. Is that a wet pad you're using?
This?
Yeah.
This is a piece of gloss white tile.
Ah. Kind of like this until paint got on it.
Yeah, I mean, for things where I don't need something as long term as a wet palette, this seems to work just fine.
I am not sure what happened to this one cord. Oh, there's the problem. There's the problem. Sitting here trying to turn on a second phone since DroidCam works, and the phone is dead because it's not plugged in.
I could see where that would be an issue.
I'll be right back, guys.
This green's a little dark compared to the Bandai color guide, but I think their green's a bit too bright and chippery, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, if it's the closest you got, I mean,
Well, I can tell that, you know, their color guide isn't the actual studio model. It's their paint up of it. I'm sure, I think there is a color guide out there, but maybe for the 1/72 scale I'll go a lot more accurate with it, but for now, I'll work with what I got. I'm tired of ordering and waiting for paint.
I know, right? Whatever happened to the good
Yeah.
old days? Just run down to the hobby store and get some.
I never had a hobby store.
Oh, really?
No, around here where I grew up, no. I mean, there was like a little corner drugstore that sold a few things. We had a department store that occasionally had a couple Star Trek kits, but after they went away, it was a couple-hour drive any direction to go find a model kit, so...
That sucks.
Well, Hobby Lobby and Michael's are now like an hour away, but their selection's now starting to get pretty pathetic.
Yeah, I've noticed at Hobby Lobby, if you want a Lindbergh kit, or if you want a Revell kit, or if you want an AMT kit, they've got them. Anything else? Nope.
Really? I've like the only OMT kit I've seen, like sci-fi wise, has been the 650 Enterprise.
Oh, I didn't say sci-fi wise.
Oh, okay.
The only sci-fi they have at Hobby Lobby is like the 50 Edition Enterprise, and then they have some Bandai Star Wars, and then they have
started carrying. I saw they started carrying some DBZ. I saw that they started carrying some DBZ stuff.
Oh, really? So they
Yeah, I
don't
saw a
have
couple
that at-
Gokus. Huh?
They don't have that at our Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, it's the Dragon Ball Super stuff.
They don't have any Dragon Ball model kits at our Hobby Lobby.
They got rid of their Tamiya now. They used to have like Tamiya primer and stuff. They're not carrying that. At least they aren't at mine.
Okay, I'm back, guys. And I just saw where Eric says he has great ideas, then he delegates.
Primer is about the only Tamiya thing they have at this Hobby Lobby up here.
Well, they actually had the cement, which I really like,
Well, yeah.
and they had some of the liquid surface primer, which I use on occasion.
So speaking of great ideas, guys see what's on the bench? Or on one of the benches?
That looks like the shuttle with launcher.
Yep. And sometime in the next 9 days, I will be doing a out-of-box review on that thing.
Nice.
No, because...
Probably. I'm probably going to buy the space shuttle with the Hubble that I put up on the Discord. Do for the shuttle build.
Nice. Yeah, that kit I actually saw originally in 83 or 86. I forget when. Actually, it had to be 87 because I saw it when I was in Germany, and I was like, oh, I like that.
I don't have a shuttle kit to build, so
Well, I wasn't building at the time, so I didn't buy it. And then it disappeared for 30 years.
well, I bought that shuttle that I built, as the Enterprise
Mm-hmm.
several months ago. And when I was putting it together, I realized this is exactly the same kit I had when I was like 10.
Oh, yeah. Well, the launch tower with the shuttle, that's only been released by Revell twice.
I would love to have the one with the launch tower, but when I was looking at them, the one I got was like $32 or something like that. And the one with the launch tower was like 120, and I was like, yeah, I'm not getting the launch tower.
I'll tell you what, right now that launch tower for $120 is a fantastic deal.
Well, I'm not saying it wasn't a good deal.
Yeah.
I just
Well-
didn't have the funds.
These days, if you look on eBay, you can see them on there for $300 to $400.
Yeah, I've seen some on there, but I can usually find one for $150, $160 range, but I just don't have the money to spend on it. So
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is when they re-released this one. Wow, that's a little bit noisy. When they re-released this one in 2013, sorry for the background noise, by the way, guys. But when they re-released it in 2013, I was like, I have got to have this model.
you got a jackhammer going on in there, Buck?
No, a paint shaker.
Ah. I want one of those vortex mixers like Spencer's got. Those things work great.
Yeah, they ain't cheap though.
What?
They've got one now for like $59, something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, most I see are like 100 or so.
What are we talking?
Yeah.
I was over by the paint shaker.
Those vortex mixers.
This.
Ah. No, what I
want one of
have,
those.
what I have is actually a fingernail
Yeah, takes
polish.
it back and forth.
Yeah.
Yep, I got one of those too.
I think this one.
They're not too bad.
I think this one needs the stir.
Need more cardboard. Where did I put my cardboard?
By the way, you guys will be very proud of me. Look at my thinner now.
It looks better than it did.
Well, that white is the color it comes in.
Ah,
I've used that twice now. Oh yeah.
so nice and fresh.
I think the battery in this thing is about done.
Those paint mixers work good too.
They do, and you can actually tell when the paint is mixed because you don't have the clumps of crap on the bottom anymore.
The only problem with those is most of the paints I have are in a dropper bottle, and it won't fit.
Yeah.
You mean the fingernail polish shaker?
No, that little it's like the Badger paint mixer,
It's like
but he's
this.
got a generic one.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen people
Blade
take
on
like
the
electric tooth. I've seen people take like electric toothbrushes and tear it apart and stick a wire in it and use that.
Yeah, I never thought of that. That might work.
I've never tried it, but
I haven't either.
someone
Yeah.
actually did. I got to show you this. A couple years ago, when I was trying to figure out how to shake those things, where is it? You know how Vallejo says you're supposed to kind of roll the bottles between your hands?
Yeah.
Made this. I saw this on YouTube. It's a 1-inch stool foot that I put a bolt into, and I actually stuck this in my power drill and spun it.
Does it work?
Mostly. It definitely works better with the agitators in it. I stopped using it because I got the Vortex mixer, but I found for the Vallejo bottles this does work a little better than the nail polish mixer. It doesn't produce nearly as many bubbles, that's for sure.
Okay. New batteries for the paint stirrer. And open the window at this, or the door at the same time. Oh yeah, much different.
I learned the hard way. When you get one of these little packages of mixed LEDs that are all clear, even though they're different colors, always close the top immediately after taking an LED out.
but why, Donnie? Why?
Learned that the hard way. 'Cause I dropped it one day.
Buck once you
Hundreds of little clear LEDs all over the floor. Like, oh shit.
Yep. And that's when you take your power supply, set it to about 1.5 volts, and test each one individually for the next 6 hours.
Yeah. My power supply doesn't go to 1.5 volt. It only goes down to 3.
Mine will actually go down to 0.
Really?
Yep.
Mine only goes down to 3. And it goes up to 12.5. But my power supply costs $9, so
Well, there is that. Mine was like 30.
$30's not bad actually.
Now, you'd find decent ones on eBay for about 30,
Yeah.
30 to 40
Not
bucks.
bad.
The problem is you have to make sure you watch them, because when that voltage regulator goes out, it's going to put whatever it feels like through your LEDs.
Yep.
And I had one that I didn't pop any LEDs with it, but the voltage regulator went out. So when I would, and I was fortunate that it didn't pop anything, because when I would turn it on, I'd have it set for like 9 volts, and I would watch it spike to like 15 when it first came on.
Oh yeah.
That's not a good sign.
No, that's when you buy a new one.
Oops, time for a replacement.
I'm just dreading when that happens with my all-in-one. I love having the soldering iron, the heat gun, and the power supply all in one box.
That's the only drawback to those all-in-one units.
Yep.
One thing goes bad and oh well.
But until that one thing goes bad, they're great little toys.
Yes, it is.
The one I have over here is switch mode supply. I can get up to 30 volts, 10 amps, and it's. I can get it over here real quick. Whoops. Drop stuff.
Don't drop stuff.
Oh, overkill
Carpet
for
monster
building
fight.
That's about as big as it
on
is.
eBay.
This one I got from Circuit Specialists, but it's $100.
Oh, really?
About $100.
How much?
Yeah. 100,
Wow.
but it's 300 watts,
Ah, okay.
30 volts, 10 amps.
Forget the amperage on mine, but I believe. Oh, it is 30. I don't think I spent $100 on it.
Well, you said yours was a linear supply, right?
No, it's a made in China one. It's called
Well,
Sky.
I mean,
It's Sky Top Power STP 300S.
yeah, that would be a linear supply. Those are a lot cheaper because they don't. Mine uses a switch mode. Circuitry is more complex.
And it's less likely to go bad.
Yeah, doesn't produce nearly as much heat. Right, like I said, it's all switch mode. It's all computer controlled.
It's like
But yeah, up to 10 amps. I should never ever need that much current. But
I want to see you build a model that needs 10 amps. I really do.
All the LEDs.
anybody want to buy a DeBoer's Enterprise or Reliant for me?
No.
Buy both. Buy both. I'll make a diorama.
Oh, I would love to have that DeBoer's Reliant. That thing is sweet.
Yeah.
There's a guy on Facebook, I can't remember his name now, but he built a 1350 Reliant from scratch. Built that sucker out of plywood, and it looks at least as good as the DeBoer's. He even built the full shuttle bay inside of it and everything.
Wow.
Steve Neal built a 6-foot Enterprise. Actually, he's built 3 of them now.
That's the custom replicas one.
What, the 6-foot?
I think so. 12, 15, 6.
No,
Yeah, it's the 66 inch.
No, the one that Steve Neal built, he scratch built that thing.
Oh. Okay, I'm thinking about a different thing he did then.
Yeah. Well, I think it's kind of funny that his claim to fame, one of his biggest claims to fame, he's got 2. I can't remember what the name of the movie he was at. He was actually in a B movie. Laser Blaster.
Okay.
Him one, not just doing the effects.
Pardon?
It was actually in one, not just doing the effects.
Yes, he was actually in the movie. He was the first guy that got killed in this movie called Laser Blaster in the 80s.
Laser blaster.
And then, you guys know Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
When Dana is in the chair and the chair grabs her,
Yeah. Oh, that was him.
the right hand arm on the arm on the right hand side of the chair is his arm.
Okay.
Hey guys, I was in the movie. That's my arm right there. See it?
Hey, that's kind of cool.
It
Yeah.
is.
It's just like one of my instructors I had when I was back at Beale for, I think it was retirement class. He was in the Navy. He's 72 years old now, I think, maybe older. But in Top Gun, when they first go into the briefing, he told us, and I went and looked. I'm like, yep, that's him, because they actually filmed that movie on a carrier, and he was one of the background players.
Oh, really?
Yes. When they're going into the briefing, and I think it's when they're first or second time when they're going out after the MiGs. The MiG, the MiGs that are F-105s or T-38s or something like that. But when they're briefing and they're about to launch, he's just an extra in the background, standing there behind the I forget his rank. The Admiral. That didn't come out. Didn't come out too bad.
No, that's pretty good.
Looks pretty good.
How would you like to be the guy that full size had to hand paint this?
They probably didn't hand paint it. They probably sprayed that sucker.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
How would you like to be the guy that had the job of spraying the tank and the boosters on the shuttle
Yeah.
over and over and over and over?
I just got some black where I don't want black, which means I'm going to be coming back with some white for touch-ups, and then I'm going to be going back with black for touch-ups, and back and forth until I get about 6 inches worth of paint stacked in that one spot.
All the time.
Isn't that like about half of what mini painting is? Paint the base coat,
Exactly.
back and forth, back and forth.
So you finally get it exactly where you want it.
And then, when it's right where you want it, you knock it off the table and it shatters into 4,000 pieces.
No, you knock it off the table and the paint chips right there where you was just working on it.
Exactly.
Damn it.
Don't forget the dog coming by to eat it.
And after all that, then you try to paint the eyes.
I don't paint eyes. I have decals for that.
I wouldn't want to put decals on 28 millimeter eyes.
Oh, come on. Why not?
I think it's easier.
Is it wrong that I'm using the detail brush for the large areas too?
Well, it just takes one.
It's what I happen to have in my hand at the time.
see it.
Nice.
There you go, Buck. I painted his eyes.
Yeah, but you had cheaters on, didn't you?
I did.
Although my wife bought a pair of Bluetooth speakers, speaking of cheaters, that have really fine writing in the manual. I actually had to get my cheaters out to read the manual.
Ow.
And I looked at the writing, and I'm like, I couldn't have read this small when I was 20. So why are they printing it this small?
Less paper, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
They're not worried about whether you can actually read it or not.
They probably also had to do it in like multiple languages too, right?
No, actually, it was only in English.
Was it?
Oh, okay.
I think so.
That's
I think it's
unusual.
more along the lines of everybody expects you to go find their manual online these days.
Yeah.
I think working on this man in space 5 kits is good practice for that shuttle. And the large Saturn V when I get around to that.
You know, if you got you a few minis and painted them, Buck, that detail painting would become a whole lot easier.
I'm thinking
just
about
saying.
it.
I'm just trying to help you out, Buck.
Well, see, I'm kicking it around, but the guy who started the Mini Fridays, he's decided to do more exciting things like shock himself and stuff like that. And if minis lead to grabbing a hold of live wires, I ain't doing it, man.
They don't.
See if I can try to get this in focus. That's the green.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow, that is awesome.
Little
See,
Little
Buck,
boba.
painting.
Focus. There you go. So now I gotta do all the little indicators and nonsense and dry brushing, but washes, but
And then when you close it up, nobody will ever see all that detail.
I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna glue the canopy down. I might just try to make it so it just sits on it. I originally thought about putting fiber optics in there, but then I realized that would just lead to madness.
And? So you're putting fiber optics in there. That's what I heard.
I'm already mad. I don't need to get any more mad.
I've only done fiber optics a couple times.
Fiber optics can sometimes be a little bit more complicated or more easy than doing LEDs themselves. Depends on
Well,
what you're doing.
When I thought about it, I was like, well, how many actual Winky Blinkies are in Star Wars? And the answer is not many. You know. Sure, there's like indicator lights and stuff all over the place, but it's like not a whole lot of blinking.
There's enough blinking going on that it actually made it into the script. I mean, come on. Luke says, "What's that flashing?" Sorry.
Yeah, but it's like the only flashing light on the dashboard.
One light in one movie out of 9.
Still.
Oh, I suspect the J.J. Abrams movies have more than that.
J.J. Abrams movies, they don't point out the flashing lights. They just point out, that one's not blinking. Is that bad?
The J.J. Abrams movie just had freaking little display screens everywhere.
Yeah.
Lens flares.
Yes.
He does love his lens flare. By the way, guys, I am very sad that Quentin Tarantino's Star Trek movie has kind of fallen by the wayside.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I really
I mean,
wanted to
to be
see
honest,
that.
I think it would have been interesting. I mean, it would have been a one-off, but still think it would have been
See
interesting.
what he would have done with it.
Yeah.
He'd have to base it on Klingons. Nobody else gets that bloody.
I mean, I was really excited about the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie until I actually watched it, and then I was like, really?
Which one?
The first one.
Really? I thought it was actually pretty decent.
The storyline was okay, but some of the dialogue just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, Kirk called Bones Bones because Kirk had a fascination with the Old West, and doctors in the Old West were called Sawbones.
Yeah, the Sawbones.
That's why he called McCoy Bones. J.J. Abrams' explanation for that was, I got divorced and my wife took everything but my bones.
I know.
That's
See-
the best thing you could come up with?
Here's the thing to remember because I look at all of Star Trek with the hindsight of having watched Star Trek first run, having watched it on TV before it was in syndication. When the original series, which most people base that's their basis for Star Trek, their original basis. I mean, not the original series. When the Next Generation came out,
I'm out of focus.
huh? Focus.
I'm out of focus. You didn't tell me.
But
All right.
when the
Continue.
Next Generation came out, there were a lot of us that were pure Trekkies that went, they just ruined Star Trek. And nowadays, I like Next Generation.
I like Next Generation.
But see, that's the thing. I grew up on. I panicked because I was like, that's full of stuff. No, it's not. But I was like,
Well, I suppose if you were watching the first 2 seasons, especially the first season,
yeah.
is like if you're patient enough to get into the 3rd and 4th seasons and onward, yeah, I mean your opinion would change. But when I watched the Next Generation the first few episodes in the first season, I was just like, oh my god.
Damn it.
Yeah, the first couple episodes were a little rough.
Just the sheer amount of cheese and just ugh.
Of course. I mean, the original series was full of cheese.
Yeah, but it's just
It was a
I don't know.
good
It's just
Gouda cheese, you know, a good smoked Gouda cheese. Next Generation cheese was like off-brand Philadelphia cheese spread.
No, not cheese spread. Cheese food.
Yes.
cheese product,
No, cheese food.
like
man.
a really, really bad, really bad, nasty slice of rancid American or something.
Yeah. Oh, to spray or not to
More
spray?
I liked all of the Star Trek series.
The which one?
Oh yeah,
All of them. I liked all of them, to a more or less degree. But the J.J. Abrams movie just, I don't know.
I think that they canceled Enterprise at the exact wrong time.
Yeah, it was just getting really good.
Yeah. But if you go back to the 60s and how the original series got canceled, they canceled the original series for almost the same reason. It wasn't that it wasn't popular, it was the executives didn't like it. They didn't think it was getting what they wanted, and so they just did it in.
it was successful, just not successful enough
Exactly.
in their mind. That was. I mean, every time they were going to talk about canceling the original series, there were letter writing campaigns and stuff. And
Although it did lead to one of the best Saturday Night Live skits ever.
Which one was that?
That's the one where they canceled Star Trek.
Have you seen the one where they made the Enterprise into a restaurant?
No, I haven't.
That one's hilarious.
Now, when they're being chased by a 72 or no 60 68 Cheviot or something like that, and then I think Chevy Chase was who played Spock on that episode or that skit.
okay,
And it's just so funny when they take his ears. I want my ears!
yeah, I remember seeing that online. Yeah, a bit before my time, but
Yeah. But, well, so
I remember I remember the Ben Stiller skits with the Kirk Fu.
Well, isn't more cowbell before your time, too?
No, not quite.
It's-
And that was Will Ferrell.
That was a
I
good
remember
one.
him in that.
It was
Will
Will
Ferrell,
Ferrell,
Chris Walken.
Christopher Walken.
What it needs. Will Ferrell.
I need more cowbell.
What I need is more cowbell.
Need to explore the space.
There's just something about Christopher Walken, though. Anything he does is just good.
Oh yeah, well, he's got that in. He's got the intensity that William Shatner wants to have.
Yes. And he makes that pausing style of talking work.
He makes it work really well. Wow. That didn't work. I tried to get the black specks off of there that came off my fingers. Now I have a black streak instead.
Don't get the black paint on your fingers.
You know, I'm sitting here trying to get the black off of this white paint because, I don't want to have to repaint it. And I look at it and I'm like, wait, this has never been painted. It's a problem with painting something white that when it starts out as white. Here's the fun part. Will I get that paper towel back out of there?
Hush, hush.
Huh?
Sorry, my daughter's dog is over here and he barks at everything. Like that.
Didn't hear him.
What's the matter, buddy? Did you hear something? I know. You go park. Good deal.
No, you don't. Don't you speak dog? Whenever they're barking like that, what they're saying is, I know you have treats because I can spell them. And I really, really need you to give me some. So I'm going to make some noise to see if you'll give me some.
See, I'm used to Jack, who never, ever, ever barks.
Are you sure he's a dog?
Yes, he never barks. Well, when he's awake. He barks in his sleep, believe it or not. But Knives barks anytime the wind blows a leaf across the yard.
Yep. Murphy does that. Murphy barks at everything. Cody barks whenever me or my wife come in the house or when I go upstairs. Charlie forgot how to bark. He just goes, And Tyson doesn't know how to bark. Sometimes, well, actually, I think it's more that he used to know how to bark, and he still does. But when he was a puppy and he would play and he would bark, it would come out, and we would make fun of him, and so he stopped.
Jack almost never barks.
Damn, that seems terrible.
Let's see what. It was yesterday. We were waiting for delivery from UPS. And the delivery guy pulls up. Jack lays in the recliner and looks out the window. He watched the delivery guy get out of his truck, walk across the yard to the house, never made a sound, just watched him. And then as soon as the guy barked on the door, Knives just went insane. And then Jack's just sitting there looking at Knives like, really, dude?
Yep.
It's just amazing how much their personalities differ.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because our dogs all, doorbell sets them off too. They all run downstairs and they're like, was it Amazon? Did they deliver treats?
Jack just runs to the door and stands by the door patting his feet like, come on, let him in, man. They can't pet me from out there. Let him in.
Come on in. Jewelry's over here.
I'm noticing a recurring theme here with Buck's dogs.
They're insane?
Seems to all somewhat be treat related in one form or another.
It is. My wife has spoiled them rotten.
Oh, Jack's the same way. You pull out a treat and he'll sit down immediately, ears sticking up and turn into a little doggy statue just staring at the treat.
Yep. My wife has spoiled our dogs really bad. Anytime she comes downstairs, they're like, we get a treat?
You're downstairs. You came down here to give us a treat. We know it.
Well, they come down to me and they stare at me now. Sometimes they get something, more often they don't. And Cody hates it when he's like, Cody will go outside, come in, because he knows when he goes outside and does his business, he gets a treat. So he'll come in when I'm the only one down here and sit behind me and stare at me. And when I turn around, he's like, Dad, I was outside. Can I get my treat?
Jack, when he comes in from outside, he just walks over to where I keep the treat box at and sits down like, please.
And it's so bad that Murphy, if you give him like milk bone or something like that, anything besides bacon strips, he will take it. He'll walk away from you, sit down, spit it out, and look at you and go, "Why are you trying to poison me?" And if you don't give him, if you don't then give in and give him a bacon strip, he's like, "Fine, I'll eat this. I won't enjoy it, but I will eat it."
Jack will take any treat you give him.
So will Tyson. So will Charlie. Charlie will eat a rock if you convince him that it's a treat. Black, white, silver, and silver. Wait.
If you're watching, Eric, I'm dry brushing.
I don't think Eric's watching. Although there is one concurrent viewer.
Think Eric gave up on us already?
I think he's asleep on the chair. He's playing a game, but I think he's fallen asleep on the chair. Many silver parts to be painted.
Oh, I have to turn the power supply on. Like Eric said that one time, I can hear the concentration.
By the way, guys,
Yes.
there's how those bollards came out once they were painted. Ones with the tiny
Oh,
wheel.
nice.
Okay, yeah.
That looks good.
You can't tell on camera, but and you can't really tell with the bare eye. But if you get look close enough, you can actually see the spokes on those little wheels.
So every time you walk over to look at your Titanic model, are you going to put on your cheaters so you can see them?
I'm going to use use some sort of magnification so I can see the detail work that went into them. It's like the conversation about photo etch that's going on HLI right now. It all depends on how much you want to put into it.
as to how worthwhile photo etch is.
I could just see Buck. Somebody comes over to look at it, and he's like, "Yes, I know it's a 1/200 scale ship, but you really need to put on these magnifiers to see it."
Exactly. Well, that's why
I understand, because I almost bought them myself, and I still kick around the idea every now and then. I understand the idea of spending $30 for the 120 figures that you then have to first cut off the resin sprue and then paint yourself.
What's
Wow.
wrong with that?
A couple of these guys are missing heads. Well, here's the thing. So that's like for 150. For the same $30, I have 400 people that come pre-painted.
Yeah, but now you need to paint them.
I'm not painting these things.
Why not?
They're too small because they're minis. I don't paint minis.
Here. I don't know if it'll focus or not, but maybe. There you go.
Which ship? That's the Franklin, isn't it?
No, that's the refit.
Is it the
Oh,
refit?
that's a 3D printed part?
Yes.
Ah,
Okay.
Focus, damn you.
That looks really good.
There you go.
that's nice. And how many
Yeah.
hours did that take?
Good.
How many colors?
Hours.
Oh, a few. They start out like this.
Yeah. So that's my problem. I already take hours to do anything.
Let's see if I can get. Oh, there it is. Here. Oh, in the camera. Too much light. There you go.
That's cool.
Is that the Reliant?
Yes. Get
Okay.
in the camera. Yeah, there she is. I was trying to build it to look, exactly like it did in the Wrath of Khan, so
Okay.
they're blasting the hell out of the Reliant. Decided I want to get the Tenor Controls board to put in that ship, so it's on hold until I get enough money to get that for it.
How much is that again? The board?
The board is like $100.
Okay.
There's a
I
guy
gotta
on
say, I
YouTube.
really.
Do what?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
There's a guy on YouTube, Ostrich Longneck. He tells how to do it all with
Yes.
Arduino and I forget what the other little chip is called.
Darlington Array.
Darlington Array, yes. But I have yet to be able to completely solder one of those freaking Darlington Arrays without screwing something up.
Oh.
Always one light that will not work. I don't know if I'm getting too much heat into the chip or what, but I don't know. That's the way I was originally going to do it. Like, after frying about 3 Darlington arrays, I was like, maybe not.
Is it always the same light that doesn't work?
No,
Oh. What temperature do you have your iron set at?
300.
Is that Celsius?
Fahrenheit.
300 Fahrenheit. It needs to be higher than that.
No, I'm wrong.
I usually run mine around 300 Celsius. Okay.
Yeah, it's like 575 or somewhere around there Fahrenheit.
Let's see. 300 times 9 out of 5 plus 32. Yeah, it's about 570. Yeah, that should be fine. I don't think that's a problem.
I even bought some flux to put on there, so you could flow the solder on each pin really quick.
Yeah.
One of them up, so I don't know. What I need to do is find some sockets those Darlington arrays will fit in, so I can solder the socket on and then just pop the chip in.
DigiKey. DigiKey or Mauser. Either one of those two.
They have the
Um,
sockets those Darlington arrays.
Oh, DigiKey has everything. So does Mauser.
I'll have to check that out. Because if I could get that Darlington array soldered, then I won't have to buy that center controls board.
I gotta say, I'm really liking these Army Painter washes. These are quite nice.
Oh, they're white. The tones, those are
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I have a bunch of those.
They're doing exactly what I want.
And if you want it to be more for like shading, you want it to settle down in the recesses but not cover the raised bits as much, just put a drop or
Yeah.
two of flow improver into it.
Yeah. Right now they're doing just fine on their own. I mean, not really seeing any water spots or tide marks or anything like that. So
No, they work real good. I like those, and I like the Citadel washes, Agrax Earthshade, and Seraphim Sepia. I like those too.
yeah, I saw that there's actually a comic book store that opened up not that long ago in a mall, not that about an hour from here. I think they carry Citadel. So I might have to check them out.
I like their shades. That's the only paints that Citadel makes that I like.
Okay.
Painted a Dark Elf army for a guy one time, and he wanted this one specific color from Citadel is what he wanted their armor to be. So I bought a bottle of it, and it didn't matter whether I put flow improver in it or airbrush thinner or what. It's like spray 3 minis, stop, clean the brush out because everything's all clogged up. Spray 3 minis, stop, clean the brush out.
Oh man, that sucks.
Right? I mean, I had so much flow improver mixed into it. I got it down to almost like water, and it was still clogging the brush. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
What kind of paint are you talking about? Sorry, I just got back.
Sit it down.
Ah. So I was just upstairs gathering hangers because I've got laundry going on. And my wife said that she watched us a little bit and she was asleep. And I'm like, so we were so boring we put you to sleep?
What'd she say?
Yes.
She's honest.
Yep.
You know.
Don't even bother trying to hide it.
Nope. That's okay. I mean, what's really exciting about watching three guys, actually watching our workbenches more than anything?
Right.
'Cause
Well, what
most-
you do is, if comments on the video, just put warning. This video has been known to cause sleep.
no, not a warning. This is a good thing. It cures insomnia.
There you go.
She's up there with. I would say she's watching a movie, but since she was asleep, the TV was watching her. Speaking of which, so what do you guys think about how integrated everything is these days?
Like what?
Well, like everything on your computer, if you have more than one computer and you have, like I do, I have everything, all my computers are set up to where I log into my Microsoft account.
Right.
So if I change the background on this computer, when I go upstairs and turn on the computer there, the background is changed there too.
I don't.
I'll turn all that crap off.
Yeah.
Turn all that crap off.
I've thought about it.
My short answer.
Yeah, I just don't log into my Microsoft account, so it doesn't do that.
I thought about not doing that, but the convenience is, I enjoy the convenience, and I have the Echo Dots around the house.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't have to log into your Microsoft account for the dots to work, do you?
No. But by the same token, I have a cell phone.
Right.
And if you don't think that people are listening in on everything you do on your cell phone, a lot of people don't think that.
I don't care.
Yeah.
There's people at work that talk about that all the time, and I'm like, dude, I feel sorry for the guy that has to sit and listen to me all day long.
Yes.
Because that poor guy's going to be going, really? He's watching Star Trek again?
They're gonna have a hard time with me, because the best signal we got up here is still 3G. LTE still sucks. So good luck getting through my bandwidth.
Well, Donnie, here's the worst job. Worse than being the guy that has to watch you or me because we don't do much of anything, is the guy who has to watch the guy who's watching us.
Yes. Fred, Bill's asleep again.
And I've known people that, you know, anytime we've talked about the Amazon thing or the Google thing. He's like, not having any of that crap in my house. Meanwhile, he's carrying 3 cell phones.
Well, that's like all these idiots when they found out that the Bill Gates Foundation was involved in helping develop the coronavirus vaccine.
Oh, no.
And then they were like, oh, well, they're putting tracking chips in the vaccine so they can know where we are. It's like, do you have a phone, dude?
Mm-hmm.
They already know where you are.
As a physicist who works in radio astronomy and understands the nuances of how radio transmission works, if you can fit a microscopic radio transmitter in a vaccine that somebody can track, you're aliens.
We are the Borg.
Yes. Borg nanoprobes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Some of these fools believe that shit.
I just think it's funny how many people they panic about that stuff.
And then get a little angry when their address or payment information doesn't autofill on checkout or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's like,
I gotta fill all that back in. Come on, man.
yeah. Well, it's like every now and then I'll be doing a video or a live stream and I'll catch that something's on my desk. I'm like, what was it? The other day I did something with and the box was there and it had the address on it. I'm like, never mind. I literally thought about it and I'm like, never mind. It's, you know, if somebody wants my address, they can get it.
Yeah, it's in the phone book.
Yeah. Wait, you have a phone book?
No. But they do still make them.
Yes, they do. The county brings one about once every 6 months and gives me something more to throw in the recycled trash.
Right.
Wait a minute. Phone on its own is just a word. There's no cell or smart phone of it. You can that's
Yeah.
You can just that's just a single word on its own. I don't know.
Analog technology still exists.
Ah, yes. I think I need to wear this shirt on Tuesday, just because.
What shirt is that?
This one.
Ah. Grumpy.
Yep. Well, if I can make it, spread it out wide enough to where you can read it. No, you can't. I can't. Without setting it actually on the desk. It says on the back, grumpy vibes only. Oh, so Yesterday was my youngest son's birthday. Not my grandson, but my youngest son, who's 27 and has always had this huge head. I mean, he's had hair down below his shoulders for the last, call it 20 years. So my wife called and talked to him on his birthday and everything, because, you know, sometimes he's not a big talker, but they're talking and everything, and it turns out that he shocked my wife because he's done what I did. On a random day, the last November, was when I shaved my head. And
Oh, he
Dominic's
shakes his head.
yes, Dominic's hair is thinning, and I don't think he knows that I shaved my head. But his hair is thinning, and he's not happy because it's not coming in as thick as it was and everything else. So he shaved his head thinking that that will make it come in thicker.
No.
No, I know. But just the fact that he shaved his head is just like, wow.
I'm close. My hair is thinning out pretty bad. I'm close to doing it.
Well, see, that's the thing. Is
Same.
I'm not, other than my widow's peaks, I'm not losing hair. But oh my God, that gray is something fierce.
I am losing it.
Well, see,
And
I
I feel like
decided
me
to
kid-
skip a stage and just go from hair to no hair and not worry about the gray part.
Well, the other thing is, it's awesome the amount of combing that you need to do for your hair once you shave your head. You know, you get up
Combing?
and you're done.
Shampoo, what's that?
Exactly. And that's the funny thing too, is that the shampoo is really pretty much just a scam because it's just soap. Even when my head isn't shaved, I use just shower gel. So as I'm going through this, my laundry, I'm like, good God, did I wear that many shirts?
You change twice a day or something?
No. It's just that since I'm not actually going into the office, I don't have to wear nice shirts, and I got a ton of t-shirts. I keep a polo in the office down here just in case I'm going to be on a video teleconference that they're going to actually expect me to turn on my camera.
Oh, just wear the t-shirt.
Huh?
Just wear the t-shirt.
Actually, I'm thinking about it because not my boss. Well, my boss is currently. I'm currently between bosses right now because she moved on to another job, and so we have stand-ins. So the head honcho that we have is actually her boss, and he wears a ball cap, and I'm not even sure if it's a polo that he wears. I think it's just a t-shirt usually. The reason he wears the ball cap is because of the positioning of his lights in his house where his camera is. Yeah, it gets a really good glint off of his head. That is his words. It's just like where mine is located. I've forgotten occasionally to set up for when I'm actually going to be on camera. And so I'm really well backlit. I have to turn off the lights while I'm on camera because I look at that and I'm like, oh yeah, Can't see nothing, which is good.
Shadow buck.
Yes. I just thought of something. It's great to be me because I'm down to around 2,000 days, or yeah, 2,000 calendar days before I retire.
Have you heard from that other job you put in for?
Let's see. The one that was going to take me back to my old location. Yeah, no, I didn't get it. The guy who I was afraid he was going to apply, he did.
That was worth a shot, though.
Yeah. Well, and talking to Bill, my boss's boss, there's some things about to happen where I work where they're bringing on 14 new positions in the grades of GS 12 to GS 14, or 16 actually, new positions. Completely different organization, still under Transcom, but it'll be different work. So yeah, waiting until those jobs show up because they're supposed to be like, what is it? He said they're supposed to be doing interviews in May for hiring for September. Okay.
Take these shirts upstairs before they tear the valance off the door. Or the, whatever you want to call that thing over top of the window in the door.
All right, guys, I'll be back in a minute. I gotta go hang some laundry.
All right.
How boring. We do models and laundry. More?
Okay. Pop you back in. You gotta be kidding me. I think I have the cockpit done. Let's try to get it zoomed in here real quick. Camera settings.
Nice.
I don't know how easy that is to see. Trying to get a light down here. That's a little better.
That looks really good, Spence.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a good color green for some of the darker panels outside too.
Is there going to be a light inside the cockpit?
No. The studio model didn't have one, so I'm using that for an excuse.
Oh, wait, Spence. Focus.
Oh, yeah. have to do it manually because I can't bring anything close. The autofocus does not like it.
Surprised me about using Droid Cam. The autofocus works very well. Or better than I would expect it to anyway. Somehow I have lost a part and I can't find it anywhere.
So good.
It's not. It's a flat part. I can make a new one. But it's the flat piece that goes right in there, fills that hole behind the interior.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I don't know.
I had it stuck to a piece of tape because I painted it. Now I can't find it.
Okay. I'm back.
Donnie's hunting for a part.
What part?
Part.
The one that's missing?
Yes,
I think so.
that part that goes right there behind the interior to fill that big hole.
Huh. Trying to remember if there was a part.
There was.
Okay.
Stuck on a piece of tape. I painted it.
You painted it and now you can't find it?
Right.
That'll teach you to use that invisible paint.
Oh, man.
I don't know what you just did, Spence, but you went out of focus.
I know. I was just going to show. I just showed this to Donnie. The Slave One cockpit is now painted.
Cool.
Come on. And yes, I'm going back into focus.
Saw that. You had to do it manually.
Yeah, I mean, autofocus is usually pretty good unless I get right up close. Then it's just like, nah. Even if I try to cover up the background, it just does not like it. Maybe if I try this to white. Nope. Still hates it.
Okay. How to paint. So I just walked over to my open patio door and I heard this noise and I was like, what the hell is that? It's the vent from the dryer.
Oh, because the dryer's running?
Yeah. Well, it's like, over the last 30 years, I've spent most of my time close to a base. And I've walked out and heard airplanes running, people working on the flight line. Now I'm about as far as I've ever lived from a base, which is 6 miles. And yes, I love my rattle can paint. And again, it's Rust-Oleum.
Just don't tell Kenny.
Nope. I'm going to do it before and after for you guys. Just because. So there's what the command service module looks like before paint, although I did get a little bit of overspray on it. I'm going to spray it in about 15 minutes. I'll bring it back over and you'll see why I keep using Rust-Oleum. Especially this aluminum. And actually, instead of the CSM, that way I don't have. This way I don't have to pick up possibly wet parts. There's my last engine bell that needs to be painted. Let me go throw some paint on it, and I just love this paint the way it comes out. So what do you guys think?
That's pretty good.
I know. Love this aluminum paint.
Not bad.
I now have a tree with 15 parts roughly on it that are all drying. And I realized something. I just thought about it. Chris from what is he? HDA Model Works? No. HDI guy. He uses
HPI guy.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
uses Rust-Oleum almost exclusively.
Yeah, he does.
Like a dark gray.
Oh, Donnie's doing the scratch build.
Yep.
I'm trying to match paint.
Let me take a look at something.
Paint
Get back in a
mix?
second.
Huh?
On the match of color that you mixed.
No, I'm just trying to find a color to mix. Some of the oddest shades of green on this thing. It's like a gray blue.
Trying to remember. I was about to go research what color this guy should be, even though I'm not using it. I may still find that missing part. I was gonna go research it on the internet, and I'm like, why don't I just go look at the one I built before?
Oh, you have a missing part too, huh?
Yes, I have half of the ascent section of the lem missing. But where Donnie painted his in invisible paint, I'm not sure if mine was ever here, or if I've lost it over the last 5 or 6 years that I've had this kit.
Don't like that.
Full responsibility for the part I lost. because I know I had it. I still have it. I just don't know where.
It's in the house.
It is.
So yeah. See, I have a full LEM. It's just that I have two Saturns. And I realized just now, when I went and got this, I forgot to put the last two decals on that one.
That is a tiny limb.
It is, and oh yeah, when that foot came off. This LEM is the worst of the two, worst built, because I've had this one foot fall off a couple of times, and apparently the last time I glued it back on, I didn't get it back in the right spot. So I'm just curious. I wonder, because I'm only going to end up using one, because I'm not putting 1.5 LEMs into a model. I can pry this one off. Yay. It's coming. Yay! Because I also painted this one after I thought about it. Hindsight being 2020, I painted it after I built it completely. So this Ascent module is going to go on this one that, you know, like I said, hindsight being 2020, I assembled the pads to the legs while it was still on the sprue, so they set up really good. Hey look, more aluminum. I love aluminum paint.
Tamiya aluminum.
Yes. As a matter of fact, Tamiya aluminum. You've been in the conversations. I just have every kind of paint there is. As a matter of fact, I haven't looked on Scale Model Graveyard this weekend, but there was somebody posted a spoiler of 3 or 4 different boxes of all different kinds of paint. I might have to look and see how much that paint is going for, because that's where I've gotten most of my paint.
On Scale Model Graveyard?
Yes.
Boxes full?
Yeah. This came
I'll
off.
be right back.
This came off.
Tell you what, if you want to learn about every kind of paint that's out there, there's a YouTube channel called Barbados Rex.
I've been watching him.
Yeah, he's got paints I've never even heard of. It's just
I want to know how can
crazy.
you afford to buy all those paints.
Buy them used.
I don't know.
Well, no, every video, and sometimes he'll have, you know, a couple videos a week. Every video is like, oh, I just ordered so-and-so paint and this paint and that paint, and I'm going to test them. You know, he'll have like 30 bottles of paint from one manufacturer.
And he's like, yeah, this bottle of paint's $20, this bottle of paint's $30, and it's just like,
Yeah.
geez Louise.
Wow. There might be some sort of kickback as far as him getting money back from the company for talking about his paint.
Maybe.
Could be. I mean, I don't know if he like owns a shop or what, but
And he uses a dehydrator to dry his paint.
yeah, I think so. Yeah. I have my spray booth and an incandescent bulb. That's what I got.
Well, you saw what I've done. I've taken that a step up by putting a box and a fan from out of a computer from it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try to make one of those.
It's not hard. If you got an old computer or just a fan from one, just cut a hole the size of the fan in the top of the box. I mean, there's no glue or anything on it. I just set it in there and then I rubber band some filter material over top so I'm not blowing dust in on top of my models.
I like homemade stuff. Like my spray booth
Uh-huh.
is a big giant cardboard box with a hole cut in the back and a filter over it and a fan on it and a LED strip light across the top.
Yeah, Eric's is homemade too.
Yes.
Just mine isn't. Ooh. This might have been closed for too long.
That's the one thing I hate about Tamiya paints.
If you ever open one of the Testors square bottles with a pair of pliers,
Oh yeah.
well, be very careful. I've actually broken one before.
Oh really?
Yes.
I've never broken one.
Well, what I'd done is I'd gone around the top, hitting it with the wrench, screwdriver, something. And so apparently I had
Hit it a little too hard.
I don't know if hit it a little bit too hard or just stressed the glass too much, because when I put the wrench on the lid and turned it, it shattered and cut me right here.
This is a dangerous hobby, Buck.
It is. They give us knives and stuff. Well, here's why the paint wouldn't come open.
Nice little dried ring. Yeah, I hate that design of those Tamiya paint bottles, because like the Model Masters, you shake it up, you take the top off, you can just wipe the top of the bottle, wipe the inside of the lid, put it back on, and it'll come off the next time just like a brand new bottle.
Yeah.
But those Tamiya ones have that little groove in them that the edge of the jar fits in when you tighten it up, and you cannot get the paint out of that groove.
Well,
You can pop those inserts out.
The middle part?
In the cap, in the lid, those can pop out.
I may have to try that. It took me
I
forever
don't
one night
know.
to get one of these Tamiya paint bottles open.
Let me see if I can find one. Flat base. So much flat base.
That's the one thing I hate about when you open a paint that's been closed for a while and it's dried some. You spend more time cleaning out the lid and cleaning off the top of the jar so that it won't stick next time, hopefully, than you do painting.
Yes.
And then the next time you paint, it sticks worse.
Yeah, this is one of these mixing jars I bought. And if you use a screwdriver or whatever, but you can get in there and you can come
Here.
on.
Donnie, here's an exact...
Insert pops right out.
Yep, here's an exact representation of that. I just did it on this one.
Nice. I'm going to do that to mine.
Well, the question is, does that help it seal a little bit better
That's a very good question.
Or if you take it out, is it going to not seal at all, and then the next time you go to use it, you're going to have a solid block of paint?
I'm pretty sure you need that for the seal.
I think so too, because there's a ring underneath it. If you look right here, there's a ring underneath it that it sits on. When you first picked up that jar and put it on camera, I'm like, good God, he cleans these bottles?
Recycling.
I will.
Recycling. Come on.
I will whenever I run out. I just haven't run out of I just haven't emptied a bottle yet.
Tell the truth, have you ever emptied a bottle of paint?
Yep.
Really? Usually I don't empty it, but by the time before it gets to empty, it cruds up too much, and then I just throw it up or throw it away, not throw up.
Emptied several bottles.
I get so sick of it, I just throw up.
Exactly.
This is the color that I've emptied. Jalen Gray. Very, very good Enterprise color.
Okay, let me pop this thing back in here because, like I said, I think it probably has something to do with the sealing. Alright, now that I've played with my paint for a while, let me paint something with it.
You want to do that?
Yeah, you're probably right. Find a good spot to hold on to the lem from. Oh, and speaking of which, let me see if I can get it to focus. Come on, focus on that thing. So I don't know if you can see it, but if you should be able to see it right there. Is that the worst place for a seam ever? Down inside the lem where you can't get to it.
Well, that's like some of the minis. They'll put a seam right across the back of the hand. So it goes across each finger and down in between the fingers.
Well, that's on purpose. Hmm. That does not look.
There, how's that look?
That looks awesome.
There you go.
The Batmobile had cardboard in it.
Are you kidding? The real Batmobile, the one they filmed, was probably made of cardboard. Wow, that battery was really dead. Or that set of batteries was really dead in there.
Well, don't use them so much.
I only put them in it like 2 years ago, or 3 or 4.
Whoa, that is messed up.
What'd you break?
No, it's just separating paint. Got to remix.
You mean like I just had?
When your camo brown has a little bit of green color in the tip from the separation.
This wasn't covering at all. And if you look, yes, I'm coating it pretty heavy because I'm only planning on putting one coat on because it's not even where you can see it.
Are you gonna glue the rocket together where you can't get apart and see it?
The LEM and the ascent and the descent stages, absolutely.
So tell me again why you're building and painting it.
Because. No, see what
Because he'll
I'm
know it's there.
No, Donnie, what I'm talking about is the part I just painted here and this part here. They're going to be glued together, but they're going to sit under this cowling that haven't yet decided whether I'm going to glue to.
That's what I was saying. Was you gonna make the rocket where you can take it apart and see them or not?
Not sure yet.
That's like I got to looking at the instructions for the engine on the Batmobile, and it has a part that goes right there on the side of it that I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's this big piece that comes out on the side. If you put that on, to look really cool with the engine split out, you can no longer slide the engine back into the car.
Really?
So I'm just going to put the engine in the car and glue it in, and there you go.
Wow.
So guess what's getting painted?
Did you guys see that? The LEM took off.
Yeah, I did.
The LEM launched. See, but you had the option to build the engine. On mine, there was no option.
Hmm.
Okay, that has not yet been painted. Not painted. Painted but needs
Yeah,
stuff.
see this
Painted.
part right here that goes on the side?
Uh-huh.
If you put that on, it won't fit through the hole in the front of the car.
So what you do is you cut a hole in the car.
Right.
Do mahogany. Mud brown. Oh.
See, this is what I think is really cool. Oops, let me see. So you see the engine, and you can actually see straight through the piece.
That is cool.
I think it's silly. They could have closed off the end. What they could have done, what would have made a little bit more sense, is if the engine bell was a single piece by itself, closed off.
So that you couldn't see in it?
Well, yeah, see inside the box that has nothing inside it.
But once you get it all closed up, it'll probably be dark enough in there you can't see inside of it anyway, so.
Yeah. Unless I got really excited and ran wires into this and a LED and had a light in the bottom.
Now you're talking.
So Kenny says, "Geez Louise, I get started watching at work. I get home from work and you guys are still here." Of course.
Hey, if he wants to figure out the color palette for this, if he wants to figure out the color palette for this Slave 1, he has my permission.
Well, I'm thinking it
Are
wasn't.
any of you guys are any of you guys familiar with a guy on YouTube named Tagamo Model Works?
Yes.
No.
I was doubtful of his color choices, but I gotta say, he's almost spot on.
Or the slave one?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking
Like,
that my gold from Humboldt here is kind of done. Because that I actually just peeled off the bottom of the tin.
that's enamel, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure. It's either enamel or it's email. That's what it says on the bottle. Hang on, let me put this top on. So which one is it? Enamel or email?
Enamel.
But look underneath what it says.
I know what it says.
So yeah, another tin of Humboldt gone.
That new enamel email.
Yes. So every now and then I look up and I see this on my screen. I'm like, what the hell is that? What did I spill there in a ring? And then I look over. I'm like, oh yeah, this.
Part of me model.
So Kenny said, "Happy Easter, boys," and Happy Easter to you, Kenny.
Easter Kenny.
Happy Easter.
Then he says, "Lol, I will watch Augie's videos for that." And actually, Dana knows the colors. And then he said, "Tag is very good at what he does."
So everybody's heard of this guy but me.
Wait.
I mean, sure, I could look up what the actual colors are, but there's a fun in that.
Yeah. I was going to say, Donnie, you need to put the lens down on your cheaters, and then I saw that you have different ones than I do, and you have actually two lenses on right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it would be funny to watch you using your cheaters and have the lens up and not actually be using your cheaters.
It's more of a support, confidence builder.
Yeah, this thing needs to go on the... Well, no. I'm here. Got fresh batteries in
I
this.
think the problem was a lot of what Augie did was Model Master, and I don't even know if I could find that anymore.
Yeah, that sucks too. I like Model Master paint.
Well, see, the thing is, what I've been watching is that all your older paints, except for Humbrol, are in glass bottles. And everybody's going to the plastic squeeze droppers. Which is part of the reason why Model Master went away, because it was in a glass bottle.
Not true. The ones they're keeping are the little square bottles, which are also glass bottles.
Ah. That's true.
It's like when Rust-Oleum bought testers, they said, "Oh, this is the paint that everybody likes. Cool, we'll get rid of that one and keep the one nobody buys."
We're going to make them buy it somehow.
It's like the guy that runs in Rust-Oleum just wants to intentionally run testers out of business completely. It makes no sense.
Well, that way you're going to buy his big cans of paint and decant them into a tin or something.
But if you're running Rust-Oleum, would you rather sell somebody 13 ounces of paint for $4 or an ounce of paint for $4?
You say 13 or an ounce?
Yeah.
Which paint are they selling 13 ounces for $4?
Big spray can.
Ah. Sometimes. A lot of those spray cans are, last time I bought some, they were like $6.
Okay, 13 ounces for $6 or 1 ounce for $4.
Yeah. Might be market share too. Because we are a very niche market.
It just doesn't seem to me that it would be any more expensive for them to keep the Model Masters than it would be the old testers. Because they're already making both of them.
Yeah. I was sitting here thinking, why was it so much easier to paint this thing without getting paint all over my hands last time? And then I was like, oh yeah, that part was on top. The ascent stage was on before. And actually, Donnie, I found the reason why they leave that hollow. That way you can stick a pair of tweezers through it when you're painting it.
Ah.
Don't know if that was their thinking, but that's my thinking.
See, I use old paintbrushes. When it no longer paints good, I cut the bristles off, and that becomes a perfect little stick to hold tiny parts with.
That's true. But my problem is, I tend to be able to keep using these older paintbrushes. Hang on, let me get this thing to where it's not going to fall over. Might not be able to. No. Like this one. This one is about 8 or 9 years old, and it's a cheap-ass paintbrush. Wait.
Yeah, but you're not painting minis, Buck. You're just slopping paint on a model.
Well, there is that. This one used to be yellow.
Used to be?
Yeah, you can still see a little bit of paint up underneath the furrow. It's out of focus, but
You're not supposed to clean the handle, Buck. You're supposed to clean the bristles.
I'm thinking that this one got dropped into a into water and just left there. But it still works great for micro crystal clear, or not crystal clear, but microset and microsol.
Dash lit up. And the back lit up.
Nice.
Very nice.
I ain't got the lenses and the taillights yet, but
Army Painter Rough Iron. Very interesting color.
I know, right? It's like a metallic brown gray.
Yeah.
By the way, Spence, did you get you some of those Dragon Balls?
Not yet. I'm going to. I just dropped cash on some of the Thunderbirds kits the Cult TV man was carrying, so I got to save up a little bit.
Those are nice, ain't they?
Yeah. Alright, I think this... Whoa, Scan City. I think those are the colors I'm using for this save one. Oh man, this is really cool.
Nice. I think it's cool the way they layered the paints on the slave one and then chipped them away.
Yeah, it's great, just gonna be a chore.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a chore. That's the main reason I don't build very many Star Wars kits. I'm not that good at the weathering and the chipping and all that.
Well, I mean, like your Falcon or your X-wing, it's not terribly difficult. This is unique.
Yes.
I don't even know how many colors of paint I have for
The
this.
studio scale X-wing that Lou Dalmaso built.
Oh yeah, the Captain, whatever it's called, model.
Captain Cardboard.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that thing is nice.
That was crazy. Well, it's almost 4 o'clock. I think we're gonna have to call it. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I'm gonna have to call.
I don't know if Friday's going to be another thing or what. But if you're doing next Sunday, I guess I'll be around. So
All right, if we're on Friday, I'll be on. I got tons of minis to paint.
All right. Well, I'll catch you guys later.
All right, have a good one, Spence.
See ya.
Yep. See you, Spence. Thinking once I'm done painting this limb, I'm gonna call it too, because my wife was talking crazy talk yesterday about taking both cars to Home Depot and getting like 15 bags each of more marble. Something about, she wants to finish that stuff out front.
More rocking for Buck.
Yup. Now she has this street light thing that she wants to put in next to the front stairs. The front, it's not really a porch, it's just a landing there with a Mickey head. So she wants that hole dug before we put the fabric down.
Aren't you getting a little old to be a rocker anymore, Buck?
Apparently not. I think so. And let me put it this way. She knows that I'm getting older. Otherwise, we'd have done all that stuff in the first day. See, my problem is when she asks me, can we do this? I'm like, okay. I don't think about, can we do this? Sure. Can you get up tomorrow afterwards? I'm not sure.
See. We'll see. It's like there used to be a guy at work a couple years ago that always gave me a hard time because I still listen to rock and roll music all the time. And he's like, Donnie D, don't you think you're getting old enough to start listening to country now? What does my age have to do with the music I like?
Yeah.
I still like what I like.
I mean, it shocks my wife every now and then when I'll even listen to a little bit of R&B.
I like R&B.
Yeah. Well, see, she listens to a lot of the stuff that the kids listen to, because the kids listen to it and they say, "Look, listen to this, Mom, it's great." And Mom's still. I don't know if she's just trying to still be cool, but some of the stuff they put out these days, I'm like, I ain't listening to that.
I like some of the newer grunge or whatever you call it. Like Disturbed,
That's
System
different.
of a Down.
That's different. I'm talking about like Little Bow Wow, and
Oh no, rap? No, no.
it's not rap though. These days, these days, it's known as R&B.
Oh, that's not R&B.
I understand that.
That is definitely not R&B.
Although she's starting to have her taste settle back into the music from when we were younger. The other day she came down and was doing stuff in the kitchen, and she put on Kenny Rogers.
The Gambler.
Yep. And there actually it was kind of funny because Amazon Music came up with some that I didn't even recognize, and I used to be a huge Kenny Rogers fan.
Really?
Yep.
That's what my mom always listened to. Country music. Kenny Rogers, Loretta Lynn, Patsy Cline, Charlie Pride.
So that's the thing, is a lot of Kenny Rogers music wasn't pure country.
Not pure country, no.
I mean, think about it. I want to say his group that he was with was the Kenny Rogers and the Fifth Edition. He downright rocked on some of the songs that he did with them.
Yeah. Well, it's like I used to give my mom a hard time because she used to love Conway Twitty, and I'm like, Mom, you do know the only reason Conway Twitty sung country is because he tried rock and he wasn't good enough, so he started singing country.
Yeah.
Because he briefly tried rock and roll and failed.
Think, at least for right now, that's going to be good.
Nice.
Thank you. Let that dry. This time I'll do the decals that I forgot to put on there. This is actually one of my favorite brushes right now. It's a little bitty thing. I could look. I could paint a mini with that.
It's small, but there's no point.
Well, there's that. All right, Donnie. Let me shut down
this
the
one.
live
Get it
stream
in the
first.
How's that one?